2012 election. If you look at all the polls dating back since the beginning of the GOP primary season, you'll see that that Ron Paul has done very well and very strong on various polls. And in those polls, it shows that there's a huge amount of people that'll vote for him if he wins the general nomination. That Ron Paul has a very good chance and can easily defeat Obama in 2012 if he defeats the GOP nominee people. If he wins the nomination, in other words, he can easily defeat Barack Obama because Ron Paul speaks the truth and has nothing to hide. So I want to bring out to Dick Morris and Bill O'Reilly that it's not just the liberals that support Ron Paul. There are people who are conservative and libertarian and moderates who support Ron Paul, many of whom are independents and Republicans and Democrats and libertarians and affiliate members of the Constitution Party. Alright? So don't attack Ron Paul and make it sound like he can be defeated by Obama, because that is less likely to happen at this point in time. So I'm Michael Long, and let me tell you something. I know Ron Paul, and if he wins the nomination, there's no doubt about it, he's going to defeat Obama. So you keep smoking your peace pipe, Dick Morris, because I can assure you at the end of the day, if Ron Paul wins the Republican nomination, Obama's going to be defeated. And he's going to be defeated no matter who wins the Republican nomination. You just don't like Ron Paul because he doesn't go in favor of your mainline Republican ideology. And so anyways, I'm Michael Long, and thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Good morning, everybody. My name is Michael Long, and thank you for joining me. Appreciate it. Today is January 14th of 2011. Now, what you just saw just a little while ago was a clip from yesterday, from one of my previous shows, in which I explained on how Ron Paul was going to defeat Obama if he won the Republican nomination, and I basically told Dick Morris to go ahead and smoke his peace pipe. The reason that is, and I just pretty much said that, but the reason that is simply because Ron Paul's getting a lot of support by libertarians, conservatives, liberals, moderates, Democrats, Republicans, different people from all walks of life, from different political ideologies, different backgrounds, different racial experience. You have liberals who believe in freedom in personal matters and in restrictions on economic matters. You have your moderates who go whichever way the wind blows. Then you have your conservatives who believe in economic freedom and restrictions on personal matters. In other words, they oppose gay marriage and legal immigration. Basically, values that go against the traditional American conservative way of doing things. And you have libertarians who believe in both freedom and economic and personal choices, right? The one thing all these people have in common is freedom, and Ron Paul's message out there is resonating with people. The one thing that brings people together is freedom, as he talked about over and over again. If my calculations are right, assuming that Ron Paul wins the Republican nomination, he could very well end up defeating Barack Obama in the 2012 election. I don't even think Barack Obama is going to even win in the 2012 election, being that he expanded the size of the federal government, got in the affairs of other countries, and his ideology was really no different than Bush's or anybody else. And I don't get how a lot of the neocon Republicans argue the difference between Obama when their policies are virtually the same, whether it be Michelle Bachmann, who just dropped out of the Republican race, or Sarah Palin, who is not even in the race, or whether it be Rick Perry or anybody else. But Ron Paul's message is resonating with people because he tells the truth, he speaks the truth, he's an honest guy. Yes, there's some things that people don't agree with Ron Paul on some social policies, but that's a complete side issue, and I think people rather take the risk and to strive in a sense of bringing forth more freedom and liberty than to have the same old, same old. And for freedom, it's well worth the risk. So I'm going to show you the other clip that I showed in my previous videos, and I'm going to make a response on it.
Very beginning, and we had Ron Paul on this program, I have said to Mr. Paul's face that some of his positions are insane, that you can't be an isolated nation the way he wants to be, that bad guys will come and get us unless we get them first.
Right.
We all know this, except Ron Paul doesn't. But there is a strain of people there who love him. And that's what shows up in the 13 or 14% that he gets.
Those people that love him better love Obama, because if he ever gets the nomination, they can have him for 4 more years.
Right. Again,
you see it.
Now this video was shown in my previous video, this sector, except I just specifically focused on this sector. This is where that's when I made my response after this clip, bashing Dick Morris and Bill O'Reilly on this concept that that Barack Obama would defeat Ron Paul if he won the Republican nomination. And simply, I think that's propaganda. I'm just going to call it out right now. It's propaganda. So that people who believe in Dick Morris and Bill O'Reilly that are on the right can say, you know what? Ron Paul's going to decipher votes away and then Obama's going to win. So no, we want to go for Mitt Romney or some idiot that's going to expand the size of the federal government and bring forth more tyranny. Which I think is completely unacceptable. If anything, I've given you my reasons why people should vote for Ron Paul. It's up to the people of the United States, and I think that it's resonating with people. I think that Ron Paul is going to win the Republican nomination, and if he does, I think he's going to beat Obama and practically destroy him. But you know, a third party can do that. Anybody in the who wins the Republican nomination can do that. But the question you have to ask yourself is, what type of character do you want to replace Obama? Do you want Obama light, or do you want something new? Because people have been complaining about Obama, including the Sarah Palin type people, but the Sarah Palin type people, the Rush Limbaughs of the world, their policies are somewhat similar to Obama. They might not agree with expanding the size of the federal government at home, but they certainly agree with expanding the size of the federal government overseas. And it seems to me the fake left-right paradigm is focused on where the right focuses on expanding government overseas, the U.S. government overseas, while the left focuses on expanding the size of the federal government both overseas and at home. And that's the fake left-right paradigm. And many people on the left, right, in the moderate area, and in the libertarian, etc., people from there's a lot of people from different political backgrounds, different affiliations, and different racial groups, whites, blacks, Latinos, etc., that are saying, look, we're sick and tired of the tyranny that's come forth to our country. We want something new. We want a real change in this country. And you know, Obama's not giving it to us. So what makes you think that Mitt Romney's going to give it to us, right? So Ron Paul's got a good chance at winning the Republican nomination. He came out in 2nd place in New Hampshire, 3rd place in Iowa. He's been in the top tiers for a long time, probably even longer than the media has reported on. So we'll see how things go. We'll let the chips fall as they may, and we'll see what goes on between now and May. But by May, we should have a clear picture who's going to win the nomination. And I think the victory is going to go ultimately to Ron Paul. So I'm Michael Long, and thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.